Hello, Mr. Mehta.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to have you today at MAAC.
Me too.
You've been one of our favorite directors, and we still love your movie Mirch Masala. And till date, we really admire that movie, the way you made that movie. So please let us know your journey being a Bollywood director, your journey from Bollywood to animation. How did this all happen?
Well, it all started when I did a film called MAAC. At the end of the film, there was one particular shot where I needed a visual effect of a woman bursting into a flame of light and disappearing. I tried to do the shots here as a visual effect shot, and it didn't work out. I wasn't satisfied at all. I even went to Hong Kong to do that shot well, and even there I didn't get the satisfactory results, and finally I was unhappy with that climactic shot of the film. That's when the idea came into mind that we in India claim to be the biggest, largest film industry in the world. We are proud of our entire cinematic heritage, and we can't do simple things like this. And that was also the time when digital technology was actually coming up in a big way. Yeah. And so decided to take the plunge and start a computer animation and digital visual effects studio called Maya Entertainment Studio. At that point of time, there was hardly any knowledge about the possibilities that computer animation and digital visual effects had to offer to the cinematic language. And to demonstrate those possibilities, we started a television series called Captain Vyom, which was India's first science fiction television series, very popular with kids, went on for a year on Doordarshan. And that's when we realized that in spite of the fact that there was such a great potential, there were not enough trained people to do that kind of television series also. And so MAAC as an institution began a training program for computer animation and digital visual effects, a training program for the future of Indian cinema.
Sir, this moment must be quite nostalgic for you as you started from the same MAAC office a decade back. Can you please share your feelings with us today?
It's such a wonderful feeling to come back here and see how MAAC has grown over the years. It has really grown into a wonderful organization which is spread all across India. I hear there are about 15,000 students a year coming out of this place. So I really wish MAAC all the very best and hope that it grows from strength to strength.
What has been your vision for MAAC, and where do you see MAAC in the coming years?
The starting point of starting Maya Academy of Advanced Cinematics was that I believed that the digital technology was going to change and transform the language of cinema like nothing else had before. And for this, technical training was an essential part of it. It was technology driven, and so it was a wonderful mixture of technology and creativity. To bring all these together, you needed a certain training program, and therefore this training program was actually essentially designed keeping in mind the Indian films, keeping in mind the Indian scenario at that point of time, and realizing the fact that this is going to be a really fast growing segment of the entertainment sector as a whole. Now, by the last 1 decade, the potential has actually outperformed itself. I think in the future, entertainment, communication, education, the entire future of all these sectors is going to be driven by computer animation and digital visual effects. And that is a grand future just awaiting for the new generation of Indian boys and girls to take up as a career.
India was not considered as a serious animation hub. However, things have changed. So what are your views on the Indian animation industry, sir?
I think Indian animation industry is going to grow rapidly and very, very soundly over the next few years. I think it is also going to become a part of a global network of animation industry. Animation is essentially a global phenomena. So Indian films can't just remain Indian films, they have to become global films. Similarly, global films will also start doing their work in India. All that process has already begun. International technicians and artists will come together for creating animation, and that is the joy of animation as well. So in this globalizing world, animation is the key.
With the success of Avatar, what are your views about Bollywood taking a plunge into the 3D world?
I'm sure it will happen in a very near future. Computer animation and visual effects use has increased substantially over the years, in the last few years in Indian cinema as well. More and more films are using digital visual effects. Some films are also using computer animation. Fully computer animated films are also are being made now. So it's a phenomenal growth possibilities there.
Will India be still doing majorly outsourcing of 3D animation world, or do you see a scope of more original content to be made in India?
That is where the entire industry is going towards. More and more local content will have to be created for the local market. And more local content will also travel across the globe.
MAAC has various kinds of courses in 3D animation and visual effects. According to you, how do you feel a MAAC course can help students make a career in the animation industry?
As I said, both the use of computer animation and digital visual effects in Bollywood industry is growing at a phenomenal pace. There are more and more studios coming up, and more films are actually using this kind of a content. Apart from films and Bollywood, there is going to be much greater demand also in communications and education for 3D computer animation and visual effects. So I believe that the entire range from entertainment, education and communication is going to be more and more dependent on computer animation, and that is going to be the global language of communication.
Will MAAC students scale international heights?
Most certainly. I mean, I don't see any reason why we in India absorb technology so easily and so effortlessly. We in India are such a lot of creative people. So I don't see any reason why this kind of creativity and technology merger cannot happen. What has happened in the IT sector can't happen in the animation sector.
Sir, you are a prominent member of MAAC's Academic Advisory Board. How do you feel about it?
I know my best wishes and my full support to MAAC is always there, and I'll be actively participating in the growing future of this organization.
24 FAS Animation Awards, the biggest event of MAAC, sir. How would you rate the quality of the films from the time the awards were initiated 7 years back?
There has been a phenomenal growth in terms of the quality of the content that is being created in MAAC, both in terms of animation and digital visual effects. Now the output that is coming out is as good as anywhere else in the world, and in future too, I believe that India will take up leadership role in terms of the growth of these two disciplines.
Recently, under the banner of MAAC Creative Shop, which is an initiative of MAAC, its first movie, CricX, which is an 80-minute feature film, was exclusively aired on Disney Channel. How do you feel about it?
I think it's a wonderful initiative by MAAC, making students participate in the creative process, entire actual production process. Students actually seeing their work being exhibited and shown across the television channel is a big achievement. It on one hand allows students to go through the entire process, on the other hand it gives them a showcase that they can show around in the professional field. And so I think it's a wonderful initiative, and I hope it really continues and grows. So congratulations and all the very best, and I think this initiative should grow.
So what are your thoughts on MAAC's new course which we've launched recently, SPADE, Short Program in Animation, Design and Visual Effects?
SPADE is also a wonderful initiative of MAAC. The idea of catching them young, trying to teach them the basic language of the audiovisual digital communication is something that is the future. Just as computers became a natural accessory to your being, similarly this new language, which is going to be a global language, is going to be an essential tool for the future generations to grow and communicate with each other. So I think it's an incredible initiative, and it should immediately start bearing fruits.
What do you think about the MAAC IGNOU tie-up and the Bachelor's in Animation degree that we've recently started offering to all students?
Now that MAAC and IGNOU have come together to create this largest open university in computer animation anywhere else here in Asia, I think it's a great leap forward. It also actually reassures the younger generation as well as secures them further, because it gives them a degree instead of a diploma. So that is also a recognition of the fact that this discipline, this entire school of training is growing and its recognition is growing as well.
What do you advise to students who wish to make a career in animation at MAAC?
More than technology, more than training, it is basically the passion that drives this field. You can have all the technical knowledge, you can have all the training for years, but till you have the passion and a creative urge which is driving you, don't come here. But if you have even the smallest of a creative urge, in that case, this is the place to come, because it will let it flower.
So, what about your movie finally, Rang Rasya? When can we have it?
Well, very soon, Rang Rasya will be released very soon. There also we have used some wonderful visual effects and things like that. You will see it very soon.
Thank you, Mr. Mehta, for your valuable insights on the 3D animation and the VFX industry. You are an inspiration and will always be an inspiration for all our students. Thank you very much.